Buenas. ¿Qué tal? A ver. Oh, estamos. Estamos en el grupo 6, el último grupo de 24, al fin. El único que conozco de estos gallos es Ratch, que es el Terran. Son dos Terran contra dos Protoss. Así que, como les dije en el último capítulo, van a durar mucho, mucho. Así que démosle. Démosle. Por ahí, sí. Y yo estoy un poco bajo. Así que nos vamos a poner guataje. Excelente. Por ahí sí. Entonces démosle, po. Ya. Tenemos Ratch. Que bueno, al tiro con Ratch. Ratch contra. Ratch contra Free. Terran con Protoss. En el mapa, ¿se acuerdan? Butter 2. No quiero reclamar. Chao. Gracias. Nos vemos. Claro, después, la música de los comerciales me caga mi advertisement en el video. Nada que ver, po. Así que, dedo rápido. Tengo que tener el dedo rápido.
Light is known for always choosing red Terran. Okay? And the thing is, you can choose colors for like a few different reasons, right? You can choose a color that like blends with the map to make it annoying on your opponent. You can choose a color that you like, right? Or you can choose like what is theoretically the best.
Están hablando de las ventajas y desventajas del color que elegí. Sí, los colores dan lo mismo. No.
Why don't you go speak into a fucking mirror, bro?
You can just hit shift tab and then you turn yourself green and then red. That's what I do. I have no idea what color.
Yeah.
Los dibujos. Me encantaría saber qué dicen. Podría ponerle pausa y como ponerle Google Translate. ¿Cachai que en este mapa los pajaritos, como todos los animales, son alucinaciones? Desaparecen después de como el minuto, parece. Ahí está construyendo el supply depot para defenderse. Fíjense bien dónde va, porque ese lugar es específico para prepararse. Cacha, de la pega a ver StarCraft. Qué huevón más grande. Qué huevón más grande. Aguante Corea. Aguante Corea del Sur. El otro socio no. Muy loco el otro. Ah, qué pesado. A ver, ni un... Uy. Cacha. Están jugando bueno las quemas. Ya lo tiene en la mitad. Y el otro lo repara. Qué bueno. Sé que pocas veces había visto, pero claro, el loco invirtió en el fondo para construir una barraca. Tiene 3 SCB ahí metidos. Igual sacrifica ahí minerales. Mira cuántos minerales tiene Free. Y mira cuántos minerales tiene Ratch. ¿Cachai? Porque ha gastado. Tiene 17, 19. ¿Cachai? El otro no tiene tantas cosas. Ay. Y ahí va el Celot. Un Celot en la base es rudo igual, pues. Piensa que el Celot tiene como el HP de un búnker. Un búnker con pata. Tiene como 3 veces el HP de un marín. ¿Cachai? Y además se regenera el escudo. No, es rudo.
Yeah, the Brood War tile sets spawn Brood War colors, whereas StarCraft 1 tile sets.
Uy. Ya. Bunker Ratch. No. Claro, un búnker allá, un búnker acá. Sí, no hay vergüenza en hacer búnker contra los Celots. Mucho mejor. Perfecto. También tenéis que aprovechar que no podéis ver adentro del búnker. Como enemigo, no podéis ver adentro del búnker. Entonces le metió uno nomás por el weón. ¿Qué sabe? ¿Cómo sabe cuántos marines hay? Tiene que acercarse y dejar que le peguen. Ahí está lidiando, ¿cachai? Tú evitáis agresiones cuando ponías ese gas en la base enemiga. Como que te aseguráis de que, ok, ahora recién está sacando gas, ¿cachai? Ahí, ya, tiene uno. Y ahora le mete los otros marines, ¿cachai? Para que como que, no sé, factor sorpresa, tiene que estar. Oye, 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 oye. ¿Viste? Los props son rudos, son súper rudos. No me traje agua, no me traje nada.
There's a lot of ways you can play. It's why the SCV was sent out on the map again. He needs to get an idea of what's going to be the post-cybernetic score tech.
Yeah, totally.
Ay, vete, ahora ya, no. Ya lo rellenó ya. Lo bueno es que te acercáis, te pega y esperáis un rato y recuperáis ese escudo. Así que, en el fondo, ese daño se nulifica con tiempo. Cosa que no les pasa a los Terran. Los Terran el daño se nulifica con plata. Tenéis que reparar. ¿Cachai? También tenía el otro lado. Podía hacer Marines y médicos. Y así podéis nulificarlo con energía que se transforma en tiempo. Pero, ¿cuál es el pero? Contra los protos, las unidades biológicas de los humanos valen hongo. O sea, los Marines, los médicos, todo eso mueren muy rápido.
Well, in this type of game, you'll do literally exactly what Rush is doing. You try to get out there and see if it's Robo, and you go to factory. From the two factory, like if you scout a
two factories, sí.
Finishes,
5 minutos, 2 factories.
There isn't a reason in the universe you wouldn't go armory. Like you would just prefer to use Goliaths as opposed to making missile turrets. You don't want to like.
Claro, está hablando tú así la Armory, no la Supply Depot. La Supply Depot te deja hacer torres y la Armory te deja hacer Goliath. Entonces, tú así los Goliath lo así en vez de las torres. La única forma de defender eso es si no tenéis como buen ojo para encontrar a los observadores. Porque si tenéis buen ojo, hacéis un scan y te podía echar al observador. Si no, así torres por todos lados para que los observadores no se puedan acercar nomás. Pero es súper difícil. Es súper difícil como mantener el número de observadores a raya y como tratar de sorprender al proto es algo complicado. Es muy complicado. Al humano también, porque tú podéis poner minas en todos lados y también es difícil sorprenderlo como por tierra por lo menos. Ahora la barraca es una muralla nomás, es parte de la muralla. Esa es su utilidad. Claro, ahí va a dejar una mina para cachar cuándo va a sacar su cuarta base. Pero justo el Free, el proto, eligió el otro lado y mandó al observador, ¿cachai? A ver si hay minas. No, todavía no. Punk. Ay. Las motitos son bacanes contra los ¿cómo se llama? Los SCV. Mira, ahí está la muralla de los pylons. Oh, no puede pasar. Pipi. Te pillé. Murió. ¿Cacha lo lejos que le pegó? Ya tiene rango entonces. Ya sacó el rango de los Dragoons. Ahí, hola, ¿qué está pasando aquí? Ya, todavía no tenemos Siege. Armory, ya, ok. Y tenéis tu observador ahí arriba de la base, y si no lo moví, es tan difícil mirar si es que existen o no. Como que tendréis que tener la costumbre de hacer un scan preventivo con tu Goliath. Hacer un scan preventivo de esa cuestión. De, ¿cómo se llaman? Buscando observadores. ¿Cachai? Pero ahora que...
which I'm loving to see because you open with the Goliath, it's like very safe and very steady if a quick shuttle comes. And the thing is, nowadays, like a lot of Terrans are shying away from Goliath-based defense against shuttles. They're still good, but like to defend your main base and move out is like basically impossible. Like there was a point in time where Flash would get 4-range Goliaths and then like go expand and
bueno, obviamente tenéis que estar súper pendiente de si los Terran, o sea, si los protos destruyen las minas, es porque hay un observador. Pero le pegó ahí, debería haberle pegado a los... Bueno, sacó los SCB, los sacó rápidamente.
Before the tank and fire again, but Free, I think, kind of fumbled that. And, you know, obviously it's mostly shields, but the reality
me bañé
is that,
recién y tengo agua en el oído. Murió.
It really starts to add up. You know, it's never recovered.
¿Viste? Ahí, cachó el observer y dijo, acá murió. Y 2 disparos de... O sea, 4 disparos de Goliath, los ¡pum! Muertos. Mi murí. Mi murí. Ya, ahí vamos. Siege. Tanques con Siege y vamos corriendo. A ver, ¿qué está pasando aquí? Y todo, ay. Va avanzando, poniendo minita. Va avanzando. Pero eso también es un error. Tenéis que ir avanzando al lado de las minitas, porque si no te van a tirar unos silos que van a arrastrar las minas y te van a romper los tanques. La mayoría de los ejércitos de los protos son como fuerza bruta. Celot, dragón. Y su buen manejo de los chatos y la oruguita. Pero eso es como específico. ¿Cachai? Sí, están súper tranquilos. Voy a buscar agüita y cafecito. Ay, vuelvo al tiro. Pero a ver, no, es que puede salir un reclame. Vamos a ir cuando termine esto. Eso, para atrás. Y papá, surprise, motherfucker. Difícil. Claro. Y ahí están demorando nomás. Mira. Claro, ¿viste? Oye, es bueno Free para...
Drops those zealots off as well.
Oh, this is what it looks like when I okay, so there's that Reaver from earlier. Looks like he does dodge the shot, but you know, it's yeah. I'm a little bit
murió el murió. Y murió. Pero bueno, lo retrasó, pero finalmente perdió la pelea. ¿Cachai? Y le destruyeron el observer, entonces ahí ya no puedo avanzar más porque no me puedo arriesgar a comerme más minas por ahí.
In order to break that, and I think that was a big error there for Free. I don't think the game's over. I think Free can recover, but like, I think you delayed that command center with the pylon. You bought a little bit of time. Now you want to back up. You want to go get your 4th and go get your 5th, not try to take out the 3rd. When you see 3rd base taken out, it's like on maps like maybe Neo Sylphid.
Esa es la visión, cacha la visión del terreno. No tiene idea por dónde anda. No tiene idea de la base que está en la 11. ¿La 11? No, en las 9. Vamos dejando minas. Vamos. Oh, los pillaron. Las motitos son súper malas contra los dragones. Súper malas. Vean las motitos. A ver. Ay, apretado. No. Bacán. Siempre con un observador. No. Protoss contra Terran, no te muevas sin un observador. Ya salieron los rayitos. Oye, está bueno. Me gustó este gallo. Free, dale Free. Juega súper bien. Me gustó. Ratch es seco. Es uno de los mejores Terran que hay. Me gustó mucho este loco. Ahí está la línea. Y tú decís, ya bueno. Pero ¿cachai que la línea está en una esquina? Protoss tiene todo el otro mapa. ¿Cachai? ¿Cachai? Ahí las minits. Y en el fondo la pelea de Real pelea está en las bases de las tres. A ver, cuando se hablan de los números de las bases, es acá en el mapa. ¿Cachai? En el minimapa, la de arriba, la que está acá, esta es la 0. Es como un reloj. Entonces cuando yo te digo la de las 4, la de las 3 es la que está vacía acá. Y la de las 3 y la de las 9 son las más importantes porque son las del medio del mapa. Entonces te agarráis esa y al tiro el otro weón tiene menos mapa que tú. ¿Cachai? Menos mapa, menos minerales, menos espacio, menos visión. Todas las cosas que te hacen ganar a la larga. Uy, uy, uy. Ahí está mirando nomás, sapeando. A ver, ¿qué onda? ¿Qué pasa por aquí? Ay, mira que va, pero oye, es tan difícil mover ejércitos tan grandes. Piensa que en el StarCraft 2 tú podías agarrar todo el ejército. Da lo mismo. No hay límite de como agarrar monos. Bueno, el límite es muy, muy alto. Acá no, po. Acá tenéis 12. Mira, ahí, arrastrar minas. Ese es el objetivo de esos silos. Son kamikazes. Van a morir. ¡Pum! A morir. Ese es un dragón renegado. Merma. Se llaman Merma. Tiene muchos tanques. Está muy bueno. Voy a tratar de buscar los replays. Si están interesados en que les busque los replays para que los puedan estudiar, bacán. Porque este, por lo menos, está impresionantemente entretenido. Bueno, cacha. Cacha que lo... Rayito. Excelente. Sí, perdió mucho.
Free is like doing great macro-wise and strategy-wise, and then he attacks into literally the two worst locations in the map. What in the hell?
No debería haber ido para allá. Ahora lo van a apretar. ¿Cachai? Que tiene el punto del macro, lo tiene ahí. No. No. Para atrás. Murió su High Templar.
Markers are being created, but it's going to be a while before they can really impact anything. They have to wait for that energy. And Russia's really taking
Tiene bases, pero no
the
está miniando de las bases.
As he takes control of the boomerang, that 9 o'clock base can fall really easily. And you can't go through the right side because he's already secured that. Right? So it's like right now, controlling this exact area that Russia's in, Free has no freedom of movement on the map.
Eso. Muévete. Sí, eso. No. ¿Cachai? Que te ponía ahí, en ese espacio como levantado, ¿cachai? En el boomerang, y le cortáis la pasa para abajo. Porque hay una rampa. Las rampas son claves. Ya. Ahora se va a empezar a complicar. ¿Qué es lo que pasa con los árbitros? Los árbitros hacen invisibles a las unidades que están cerca. Como las hacen invisibles, el Terran tiene que ir con algo que detecte, porque si no, no las veis, no les podéis pegar. Decisivo. Oh.
Oh, and he's actually already tried to fake him out. He made it look like he was going to run back in the main, and then he's actually going to go head first into the army.
Pilló los tanques. Los tanques no están en siege mode. No están listos para disparar de lejos, entonces pegan menos. Vale menos un tanque. ¿Cachai? Oh, la hizo súper bien. Qué bueno, le hizo sanguchito. Y ¿cachai que no los pueden ver? Oh, ahora sí, ya. Anda, persíguelo. No. Qué bueno. ¿Cachai que igual nadie ganó? Porque estaban los dos en 200 de unidades al máximo. Y ahora están iguales. Pero están iguales. Tú podés perder. ¿Cachai? Qué bueno.
Obviously, the army's basically traded, and Free does have a bit more economy, but Rush still has a good forward position, so he's going to try to reset this up. And what does Free do from here?
Todo de nuevo, vamos. ¿Cachai? Y aquí es donde importa mucho el número de barracas, de factories, de templos, de todo el SimCity que provee a tu ejército. Qué tan rápido podéis como maxear de nuevo, ¿cachai? Ya, vamos a pelear, pum, 200, ya, a pelear, pum. Y el que lo hace más rápido y más bien, y mejor, que gana las peleas, es el weón que va a ganar al final, ¿cachai? Pero en todo caso, no hay una sola forma de ganar. Mira. ¿Cachai? Que le está llevando la pelea para otro lado. Dice, no, ven para acá, ven a pelear para acá. Uy. Mientras yo voy a sacar aquí, me voy a llevar estas minas, me molestan. Está bueno, muy eficiente el uso. Excelente. Le targeteó el Science Vessel, o sea que ahora está relegado a lo de scan. Tiene que escanear para poder verlo, ¿cachai? A ver. Vamos. Encima los tanques. Mira, congeló. ¿Cachai? Al tiro, esa congelada limita. Buena. A ver. Perfecto. Cagaron esos tanques. Ya, listo. Por supuesto, esto está muy difícil para Free. Toda la razón los comentaristas. Está muy difícil para Free, pero se está defendiendo bien. ¿Cachai?
Okay, here we go. Nice stasis there. Okay, that's as good as you could ever get for stasises.
Qué bueno. 10 tanques menos, al tiro. Y ahora tú avanzáis nomás. Y después lo esperáis. Buenísimo. No, eso es stasis. Buenísimos. No. Ya, rodea los tanques. No, cuidado. El observador. No avancé sin un observer. Eso. Ahí está. Igual la hizo, pero ahora, más ejército. ¿Dónde está el otro ejército de este loco? Qué bueno. Puta, otro. Eso es lo malo, los árbitros son caros y se hacen lentos. Entonces cada árbitro que tú perdí duele. Oye, pero está buenísimo esto. ¡Pam! Eso, encima. Maravilloso. Tiene que seguir peleando.
Oh my God, is he gonna break this push? He does lose that nexus, so that's actually very painful. Great.
Ahí, una stasis. No tienen plata. Lo está sacrificando nomás. No. Yo no hubiera sacrificado.
It feels like Free has been on the edge of dying for quite some time, but has done some amazing moves to stay in this. But how do you do it now? It just doesn't feel like he's able to get quite enough units to break in.
Yeah, I think he got close. I think when we saw the Dragoons not run away when he was losing the fight, I think that was really.
Los tanques son tan buenas unidades, weón.
he can still function on 4 bases, but not having the big boost of income from these 2 bases on the left side, and also quietly Rush is actually going to take, I think there's a CC floating there. I think he's going to float this to the lower left. Basically taking one of the few last spots, but that's going to keep Rush able to power ahead here.
A ver.
Yeah, Rush is just kind of running around with these smaller groups of units right now because Free is active on the map. Rush finally going to be taking another base. He's blowing up 9 o'clock now. Free doing a good job like clearing mines. He's trying to stay active and keep some area in between like the reinforcements and that main chunk of army. But he is going to have to
Sí,
make
va a perder las 2 bases.
Not sure what it's going to be, but he's going to have to do it.
Yeah, well, he's going to go around.
Oye, pero estaba buenísimo. ¿Cuánto va? 24 minutos. Excelente. Aquí ya las peleas ya están... ¿Cuánto están? Un escudo. Me llama la atención. ¿Por qué hizo un escudo? Nunca veo eso. Ahora tiene varias unidades.
But you know, it's funny. It's like the Protoss is getting surrounded
here.
Yeah, and I think
he's being
ahora él es el sanguchito. Stage. Oh, GG, perdió Free. Pero el loco es bueno. Es súper bueno Free, el compadre. Ahora va a venir Monk versus Horan. Ya. ¿Me esperan? Un segundito. Vamos a ir a buscar agüita. Agüita. Los dejo ahí con musiquitos. Volví, me traje el tonto café. Y... ¡pup! ¡pup! Listo. ¿Qué es esto? No, ya. No, tampoco. No. Estamos comerciales para usted. Me carga que le pongan comerciales que no puedo como pasarme. Pero hey, yo los protejo. Yo los protejo de la mierdita de los comerciales. Vamos. ¡Pum! Ya vamos. Mismo mapa. Butter. ¿Qué esta basura? Chao. Sale ahí. Fa. Mong y Horan. Mong. Me suena Mong. Bueno, tenemos mismo escenario. Proto contra Terra. Perdón. Antes del minuto ya salió un Scout Proto, el Pro, a buscar. El Terran todavía no sale. Recién salió. Besito. Oh, no hubo besito. Pues no se quieren. Buena. Sacó el gas primero. Y lo dejó ahí nomás. Es para que no se lo roben. Una lata porque tenéis que invertir plata ahí en vez de sacar más SSD. Pero yo creo que es una mejor movida que dejar a que te lo roben. ¿Cachai?
that shows that, yeah, he's really good at this matchup. He's just very strong as a macro Terran. So it's kind of exciting. Of course, he doesn't have as many games as Light, so it's harder.
Yo creo que es mejor reparar el SSD.
He's been around since season 1, so he has a good amount.
Oh, repáralo, repáralo.
Oh, he's got 1 HP.
No, ¿qué?
Oh, he can still do it. He does it. That probe just went
Oh,
Oh, no. Si ya lo había cambiado, lo perdió gratis. Eso no tenía por qué perderlo.
Oh, man. That's some scary probe micro right
Sí.
there. Mong.
Brigio el loco con el probe. Este güey, no va a matar dos, no va a matar.
Look, he gets the kill despite the fact that Mong got that gas up really quickly. And
ya, chao, me voy. Filo. Sigue hinchando.
Why don't Terrans just gas first if
Factory
is coming? And the answer is, if there is a proxy gate, you die. Because like your barracks gets to be so late.
Oh no,
like, your barracks,
salió.
I mean, it's going to be forever.
Salió Rambo.
You have a marine out. You want the factory quickly. You actually slow down the second depot a lot of times to build.
Ah, y ahí viene el silot.
So that would be one, but I mean, the metagame has really shifted away from proxy gates,
ay, viene el prof maletero detrás del silot. Ah, ya. Ah, ya.
Basically is just reading this and playing out the meta.
Bam.
But, you know, when you get the gas up, a lot of times this does hiccup whatever the Protoss has.
Y ahora ya hay tres, ya dice, ya. Me voy. Pero piensa que cada marine que el weón hace es un, entre comillas, marín perdido. Tiene que hacer un búnker. Todos esos son minerales perdidos que después no podía usar para molestar al otro. Son para defenderte a ti. ¿Cachai?
Yeah, I mean, nothing like too far out of the ordinary. It kind of looks normal from Harangi as far as Mong's side. Like, I mean, he didn't get all that gas, so he has to.
Bacán, sacó la moto rápido, ahí ya los profs ya no son problema.
So he is just as safe as can be. And, you know, the Vulture is just going to kind of be out on the map. It can do some scouting. It threatens a run by, which makes you keep a Dragoon at home. And we'll see if he goes mines, if he goes second factory, what Mong's plan is here.
Now, whenever you see one Vulture comes out, it basically means they're going to make a command center. But this is a weird game, right? I don't know how confident Harangi is right now, not knowing what Terran's up to. You know, it's not the craziest thing to make a bunker in 2 factories.
4 minutos, segunda base. ¡Pum! Vamos a matar uno. Eso. No tiene ni velocidad, nada. Llegar y... 1. 2. Ya mató uno. Oh, debería haber matado 2. Y con eso se paga. Se paga la moto.
Yeah, certainly he's not sure of what's going on Mong's side. It looks like it's probably a mines opener here, which is kind of like the standard macro play at the moment. His
si alguna vez lo han hecho, jamás se le ocurra poner minas en la línea minerales. Eso es esperar que llegue un silot nomás, que caiga y ¡pum! Te matan todos los trabajadores. Don't do it. No pongan tanques tampoco a defender de un drop. Así no. Así no.
Oh my god.
Eso, listo. Se pagó 2 veces la moto. Acuérdate que las minas son gratis.
Two vultures with speed get in, you lose like 8 probes.
Once vultures with speed get out on the map, you have to like run and just go back to your base and be ready and be defending because, you know, it's not the hardest
Gateways,
thing to defend,
eso eran los templos, se me había olvidado cómo se llamaban.
Just, you know, and you lose the game, you probably lost because of that.
Todavía no la sacaba Speed. No, sacó las minas primero.
They check the left side third, you know, has some mines over there, so that's kind of secured for now. Sees the Nexus going up at the little pocket third that has been so popular, and just starts the second factory now.
Tuto.
Gets that scan up as well. And yeah, what he's going to scout here is we're going up to 4 gate observers. So you have to take that like a little bit seriously. They can field a lot of units with the 4 gate observer when they're going third. It's like just kind of like a safety build, I think. And it has the potential to punish if you try to take a third really quickly as Terran. But honestly, Butter, no one, like you just can't
Siempre
take a third
me da
quickly on this
sueño.
map. You have to
¿Por
get
qué me da
the amount of
sueño?
factories.
Yeah, no, this
Sí,
map
igual
kind of-
dormí bien, creo.
One thing I think for the Terrans on this map is I think it makes a lot of the decisions for you. Just based
Ahora que
on
estoy
how it's
viejo, como
shaped.
que le agarré el
Yeah,
gusto a
like,
despertarme temprano.
you know, if you
Como que el
try
día
to,
se hace
you
más
know,
largo.
two factories that just
Bacán.
throw a CC over on one of these
Sábado
bases, you'll learn
a las
pretty
8.
quickly why
En la
you can't do
semana,
that.
6:30.
Yes, you certainly will. You just won't be able to hold on to anything at all. But yeah, honestly, I like Butter a lot more than Eclipse so far. It's like it's a hard to take third, just like Eclipse, but it's a thinner map. So overall, like you're gonna be a little bit more stable against like things like Arbor, like we were talking about in that previous game.
Do you wonder? Actually, here I'll rephrase this. I wonder if this map may bring out some 2-base carrier play.
¿Por qué no habrá sacado el speed? Ah, no, no, chao. No. Ya, listo.
Because Terran is sort of encouraged, I think, by the geography of the map to like not attack right away
Ya,
and not
a
expand
ver.
right away and kind of play safe.
Ahí, por ahí.
I feel like that could be pretty good for carriers sometimes.
Ah,
You know, if
4
teams
bases
get to
para el
4
Protoss. No,
carriers,
3 bases para el
things get
Protoss.
a lot easier. And you know, this was really, you know, the
2
era of
bases
Mini, right, where Mini was like, you can,
para,
you know,
para el
look,
Terran.
watch the million different ways I just get carriers out barely and win, right? Remember that finals?
Pium, pium.
But, you know, on a
Ya
map
murió.
like this,
Pero
I
se
don't
pagó.
think it would be a bad
Casi.
idea.
Creo que mató
Nobody
2.
seems to be doing it
3.
yet, but this map is very new and we're probably gonna
4.
get very familiar with this map for a long time to
5.
come.
Yeah, I
6.
think the question about
Bueno.
two-base carrier, whether
Si
or
hacía
not
eso
it's
todo el
gonna be
rato,
good in a
bacán.
particular game is did you get Terran to go eBay?
Matemáticamente
Because
rentable.
That's when Terran really dies to two-base carrier because you just don't know about it. When you know
Oh, un
about it,
ensayo
there's, like, a
inverso
lot
lo
of things that you can
escondía.
do. And then when you find out,
Y un
when you see a
starport
carrier,
escondido. Eso
that's
eran
the
las
worst
cosas
case
que
scenario.
estaban ahí.
So, yeah,
Yo no sabía,
it could
ahora
become
recién caché
something
lo que son.
like that, I guess. Like,
Mira.
I think it just has to do with, are you doing builds that are going to
A
force that
ver, ahí
engineering
va
edge
un observer.
and thus slow down the academy, which would allow Terran to scout it.
Parece que el weón como que está oliendo así, dice, 9 minutos, aquí faltan recursos.
That's kind of what I
Faltan
think about
cosas.
it. It's like any eBay
Oh, el drop.
builds we can carry.
Oh.
Looking at the minimap, I guess we can't see it right this second because we're only looking at Harangue vision, but there's mines everywhere, and he's hidden his star point.
Oh,
here.
no,
He's
no lo
going up the side.
vio.
This is like really funny to see Mom.
No
do.
lo
Like,
vio.
Look at the minimap, man. It's like I'm looking at StarCraft 2 Zerg. He's got vision everywhere.
You know how the Native Americans used every part of the bison? This is like, Mong has used every part
Brígido.
of the map like perfectly.
De verdad tiene visión en todos lados, solo con las
Making
minas.
2 Arbiter Tribunals, that's not a thing, Artosis.
Oh, Tasteless. He's got to get energy and stasis.
Like 2
right
Arbiter
away.
Tribunals, Snake Eyes, okay.
Oh, el drop.
Not doing too much, but this little Vulture run by, I mean, between the two, I guess they got some damage done.
Sí,
Yeah, that is
sí.
funny. The 2 Arbiter Tribunal, you're right. Is
A lot of
2
minerals, man.
Ultralisk Cavern is a thing. 2 Hydralisk Den is a thing. 2
Wow.
Arbiter Tribunal is
Recién
not
cacho.
Yeah.
Eso pasa,
They canceled
pasa.
it, it's fine. This will have little if any impact
Sí.
on this game.
Perdió 25% de la inversión,
Oh, that's
pero
funny. He sniped that with the Wraith.
fue así como, wow.
third base on location since he has so much vision around here. You know, just
drop
harassing
cheap.
a little bit with the vultures as he can.
Oh.
He's seen, you know, the tech that's coming, and it is heavy, heavy, heavy gateway. Oh, that's so many gateways. I think this might be
Pium, pium, pium.
like this
Pium,
build in
pium.
general. Like he is just, I
Pium.
think he's trying to max very,
Lo
very
logró.
quickly with the Arbiter.
El
And obviously
maldito lo
he'll be
logró.
fourth and fifth behind this. But I could see Mong actually getting run over. His build has been very technical so far. Lots of vultures. He went dropship. He's taking a third on location. Look at the supply differential. Like,
Sí, mira la diferencia de unidades. 100 a 160. Podría... Sí. Horang. Podría pasarle por arriba a Monk. Está todo tranqui. Una minita por aquí, una minita por acá. Y se pasea. Claro.
He makes a fourth and a fifth after that. And you know, this might work.
Yeah, Mong is setting up a great defensive position, though. Lots of mines, getting his turrets down, spreading his tanks. In theory, you have enough units to defend at the supply that Mong has.
Ahora sí, partió la mocha. Aquí está el problema, tiene 50 unidades más. Se disminuyó la brecha, pero existe. ¿Cachai? Y tenéis los árbitros. Y no hay Goliath. No. Claro, si tú los mandáis con attack move, se quedan pegados ahí pegándole a la barraca. Ya, pero no le ganáis a nadie con motos.
I tell you what, that floating barracks and that depot really saved Mong. Like those two between them sucked up like 800 damage, which is pretty insane. If that 800 had been put onto units at the same time that everything else was, that would have looked very, very different. I think that like Mong would have lived just barely with reinforcements.
Vamos a limpiar aquí.
It would have been a lot tougher. So fantastic with the building.
Tienen más un ataque nomás.
Yeah, it's funny what like one barracks like that will do. You got to keep in mind that even though we're watching that attack,
está haciendo armory, tiene dos, así que va 1-2. Ah, ya está con 1-2 de los tanques.
People that think the pros are doing everything at once don't really understand how the game is actually played. You're trying to do as many things as you can, and some people are so good it looks like they're doing things, you know, everything at once. But you know, it's kind of hard to macro and make sure you're not attacking the barracks and get the tanks and do all that. So I mean, that was a positional setup Mong had that really went very nicely. Now, there's an arbiter coming in here, and I think he can actually
recall?
Right over
Recall.
Oh. Yeah, that recall is strong. There are mines that will end up hitting here. But that's and it looks like
wow.
She'll get done. A lot of these zealots are stuck. Oh, I love that defense matrix as well. Off the arbiter. And it's a pretty good cleanup here from Mong, to be honest.
Yeah, Mong was pretty ready. I think one of the
podría haber sido muchísimo peor.
Ready to hit the third. A lot of times you want that army to be right outside their third so that when you recall, then you're actually hitting two areas at once.
Ajá. Aquí tenía tu starport.
That can be a really, really good move there. Is he going to get EMP? I guess not. We haven't even seen EMP yet. You might not even have it. I would imagine he does. But maybe not enough energy to zap that arbiter, which is ready for a stasis at this point.
Can't believe he didn't stasis that earlier and run in. You know, I feel like, keep in mind, you know, Protoss don't have a lot of opportunities to just recall endlessly if the Terran is, you know,
Eso.
doing all this. They should eventually be
unidades clave, los árbitros y los Science Vessel.
I feel like Mong has kind of parried every attack on the way and is in a pretty good spot now.
Oh no. No. La.
Here and Harangue's gone up to 5. He's not mining from the 5th quite yet, but he'll get probes over there as it finishes up. Mong needs
dedos
to
rápidos,
really
dedos
get
rápidos.
his force.
El sonido es peor. El sonido es peor que lo
He's
visual.
also got to watch out for these recalls still, because even though he's like tightening his defense,
StarCraft con tuto.
that does spread him a little bit more, and he has to watch out for the recalls, which I think that's what we're about to see right here, Taste. Another recall onto the third.
This is a big one here. Right on
Otro recall. Recall. Excelente.
I think he might want to try to target the command center here.
Command center.
I think that would have been a good move, but he hasn't done it, so I don't think he has time now.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's like you got to act very fast. If you can get the command center, things slow down quite a bit because they're just not getting the resources they need anymore. Now this is funny.
Yeah, if you're
Igual la
on
hizo.
5 and you kill the third base with the recall, the game is basically done.
Yeah.
But this was still a good recall. That was a quality recall. Like, he got a lot of SCVs and stuff. He's slowing him down as he takes all his SCVs to his 5th. And we still just don't see Mong moving into position for a 4th.
Ah, murió. Debería haberlo sacado antes.
Yeah.
Bueno, igual no te sirve de,
I'm sorry,
en ese estado. Preferible hacer otro.
Is that an arbiter or is that an observer? I guess it's an observer.
I think it's observer.
Yeah. We're about to have another recall. Sorry. Yeah, you know what? I think Harangi, there's been some highs and lows in his play, but like he's honestly
está bien.
kind of gotten to where he needs to be. And like Terran on 3 base needs to be respected by the Protoss, but you have to remember that they are not
Líneas de pylon, líneas.
many more opportunities unless they get the 4th.
Tiene su buen SimCity en Protoss.
A Terran on 3 base can push and doesn't.
Terran, viste que están como tirados ahí, todo desordenado. Con espacio, pero desordenado.
Gets the vessel too.
Oh!
Backing up. Some vultures come from behind. Ooh, these goons, they look like they are going to end up being mostly trapped here. Trying to run away up the hill, but there's mines waiting for them there as well. So a nice catch on that group of goons, but Mong can't attack it. That was a great moment, but he really needs that 4th base. There's just no way to win if he doesn't get it quickly.
I think that Mong's got a really good read here. He's going to come down here and preempt this recall. I don't know if he scanned that or if he just sensed it.
This recall, not sure if it's going to work quite as well here.
No, hay mucho ataque.
Sieging up, he's going to be able to clear this pretty quickly and efficiently.
Sí.
Bueno,
por lo menos él cumple el objetivo de, bueno, no vaya a sacar más unidades de acá. Chao. No.
And finally, we have that 4th base up and SCVs added, but you can see Mong's bank is literally non-existent. He is having a hard time economically speaking. He has lost a lot of SCVs. The 4th base is late. Harangi looks to be getting ready to take yet another base.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Harangi just keeps up this type of play, I think it's going to be strong, right? Like, you're threatening these recalls and everything. Mong has to really fortify his 3rd and 4th, make sure that those are not going to go down.
Salieron los
And then
Templars.
what does he do? Like, do you push into the boomerang and try to take that 5th base? I think so. I think that's really the only play because it attacks
Vamos a
and
limpiar
defends at the
aquí.
same time.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. Well, for now, it's going to be Harangi trying to clean up all these spider mines on
Está
the
limpiando
map.
nomás.
I gotta say, Monk's
Cleaning
done a
up.
really good job of basically
Cleaning up my
filling the map with
closet.
spider mines. A really easy way to sometimes just win at the Protoss is to add a few mines.
¿Qué es actualización?
Again,
Aquí
Monk's never really been maxed
no,
out
sale
this
aquí.
game, right? And that's kind of what we've been waiting for. Now, if he's not maxed out, that does mean that Protoss can maybe force a fight. Although up here, oh god.
Oh no.
Well, he doesn't have that many units,
No.
so
Oh,
this is a
EMP.
little cost inefficient,
Ya
but
tiene el
Brady
EMP.
is making his way up. Monk should be having the majority of his army coming over to make sure he does not lose his command center. Unfortunately, Goliath's coming up first against Zealots is not the way to do it. He's going to lose a lot of high-value units.
Sí.
And, oh, man, a High Templar coming here as well.
High Templar.
Oh my god, it was the greatest
Dude.
storm of all time.
Oh.
It was so good.
Sí. Oh, buena. Los silos son tan buenas unidades. Me encantan. Contra brígido.
Yeah, there were some cool ideas.
Además que tienen toda una bola como de honor. Así. Ahora, el otro rayo, Ahí va. Le pegó a algo. Algo hizo. Ahí murió. Pero cumplió el objetivo. No está sacando minerales de esa base. ¿Cachai? Y ahora tenía aire, podía respirar. Cacha. Ahí hacía así un buen recall ahí. Oh. Vamos.
probably on like 70 probes right now or something.
Les conté que yo juego con Protoss,
you know,
entonces
he's basically
siempre voy a apoyar al Protoss
spot,
contra
and
el Terran. Es que el
is
Terran me
really
carga porque los
and
tanques
then
son
Harangi
injustamente
comes in a
muy
different
buenas
and
unidades. Son
cripples
demasiado
Harangi
buenas.
there.
Me
And
encanta ver tanques explotando.
I think
Es
the
una
next
cuestión que me
attack,
agrada.
I think, you know, he can pick wherever he wants to go from here.
Yeah, his supply is just dwarfing what Mong has left over. He's got those storms
Uy,
coming
uy,
as well. Here
uy.
comes the Arbiter, freezes a couple of the tanks, and I think that this is pretty much
Como que los comentaristas están hablando un poco antes de lo que pasa. Congeló varias unidades. ¿Cachai? De un tercio, estáis peleando un ejército entero contra un tercio del otro ejército. Es demasiado bacán. Cuando tú veis una habilidad que decís, oh, que injusto, es porque es muy buena. Y eso pasa con cuando congeláis. El recall también. Buenísimo. Bueno, hizo un Archon también. Ya. Ahí tiene su Archon. Dale, tírale su rayo láser. Tírale el rayo láser. Sí, eso. Bueno, el rayo láser. Bien. Ahí van. Queréis seguir weando aquí. No. Mind drag. Esa es la técnica con los silos. Mira, si echaron a todos. Bien.
You know, to be fair, Harangi is out of minerals at 3 of his bases, but he has 3 fully mining bases, whereas Mong right now has like he's having a hard time mining from that 4th at all.
Bueno.
And yeah,
claro, esa base ya desapareció. Y bacán porque no te preocupáis más. Chao con esa base, ¿no?
He's so saturated his 3rd base that it's going to run out pretty quickly as well.
Tiene que hacer SCBs. Mong está en 97 unidades. El otro loco, Harangi, está en 150. Ahí van los Vultures. Bum. ¡Oh! Pium. No salvaste ni uno.
If you don't get the killing blow off on Mong, I mean, this is a Terran player that can kind of hang on and try to turtle it out.
Sí.
And, you know, Harangi's already shown that he's a player who is capable of overextending when he's in a good spot, right? So.
Ya, pero ¿cachai? El desbalanceo de bases. 1, 2, 3. 3 bases contra 2.
It's not like Protoss can get that infinite economy, even taking those left-hand sides. Like, if you get up to like 5 as Mong and you purely turtle and they attack into you, you can kind of weather that.
Igual las unidades de los humanos son más eficientes que las de los protos. Proto es caro, pero se hace más rápido.
You just can't set up an attack.
Yeah, and take a look here. This is going to be a huge recall, and again,
recall.
You know, all the effort that was put in there to capture that location at the top. I mean, again, I think Harangi probably needs to be a little bit more on top of trying to snipe the command centers here, because
vamos salvando lo de SCE.
Slow Terran down so much to have to remake a CC, and remember, sometimes they can't even make it on site, right? So that's a headache as well. Nice storms down here, and this is how you win the storm. Arbiter here is, you know, you draw them into a spot where they can't take advantage of siege mode. He's recalling here. Okay, I think
otro recall.
To the end of this game.
Sí.
2 very long TDPs, and
a puro recall.
I mean, let's keep in mind, this means Harangi is going to go up against Rush now, so we
ahora
have 2
vamos
more
a limpiar
very long
aquí.
TDPs here.
Yeah, that's right. Well done by Harangi. I think that
buenísimo,
really
súper bien.
well for him, the rush.
Súper bueno. Muy bueno. Ahora vamos a ver a Ratch. No Ratch. ¿Sí? Sí, Ratch con Harangi, los que ganaron. Calma, voy al bañito y vuelvo. ¿Ya? Bueno. Ya voy. Ya. Y... ¡pup! Excelente. Démosle. No. 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 Ya. Estamos ready.
Okay, so we've got both of our players spawning at the top of the map.
Protoss contra Terran again. Pero en otro mapa. Este sí va a ser más largo porque no sabéis dónde parte. Hay 4 opciones. El otro mapa tiene como partida aquí o partida acá. Me deja una manzana. Es súper helada, así que me la voy a comer después.
But it's just because there's a week off. It's not because of Chuseok. So if people thought Chuseok is Korean Thanksgiving, I said Korean Thanksgiving was happening. That is coming, but if you're a Korean person listening to this, you might think that then that would mean ASL
no están viendo nada. Bueno, no se perdieron de nada. No se perdieron de mucho. Así que no worry. Sí, le vamos a bajar el volumen a estos locos para que me escuchen a mí, porque es mi canal. Aunque me esté robando los videos de otro lado. No, pero es para que tengamos una conversación en español. Para atraerles a ustedes el StarCraft en español. Porque no todo el mundo habla inglés. Es así, es así. Me encantaría que sí, porque te abre un mundo gigantesco. 90% de la información está en inglés. Así que es una buena herramienta para la vida, para la pega, para conocer más cosas.
The Nexus first is going to be kind of nice. Ooh, where is Rush going to go? Is he going? It looks like he's going to get a gas based on his building placement here. So probably a factory expand, but will he scout Harangi in time to rush the Nexus first? And will he want to? Because I've definitely seen Terrans like experimenting with not busting the Nexus.
Yeah, it seems like originally, especially when Flash was active, all the Terrans would bust the Nexus first.
La tiró al tiro la Nexus. Lo va a encontrar antes del Terran. Bueno, por lo menos ahora ya sabe, dice, ya, no está acá, entonces está arriba. Ahora el tema no es dónde está, sino qué está haciendo. Oh, shit. Supongo que lo vio, po.
This is a very, very good travel distance. So if I'm Rush, and I feel like a lot of Terrans would agree with me here, man, it's tempting to rush. No pun intended.
Yeah, I would be
kind of
shocked, honestly, because he saw the Nexus and turned his SCV around before Harangi saw that he saw the Nexus, right? So that might make Harangi be a little bit more greedy. Now he's going to go up the ramp to check.
Sí, no caché por qué vio la Nexus y se devolvió. Como para llegar tarde a propósito. El Marine Rush. Veamos cuál es la técnica del Marine Rush. StarCraft, SC Build, buena aplicación. Protoss contra Terran. No. Terran contra Protoss. Fake Double, Barracks Supply, Upgrade Terran, One Factory Double Command, Two Factory Push. ¿Y esto qué es? One Factory Starport, One Factory Double Command, Upgrade Terran. No sé cuál es esto. Seis Marine y un tanque. No hizo tanque. Pero en vez de hacer 6 Marine hizo una moto. 5 Marine, una moto. Va a llegar un tanque. Creo. Ah, un búnker. Bueno, cuando te chantan un búnker así, la única forma de defenderte es hacer los dragón con rango. Y rezar de que les podáis pegar. Pero por eso decían que fue muy ambicioso al poner la Nexus tan rápido. Sí, po.
But both sides in this matchup have to play this out very carefully because a misstep on either way, and you can completely get screwed. And okay, he beat me to it. I was gonna say we've seen experimentation with dragoons, sometimes running around the bunker.
Los pone en filita.
Basically, like run into the main because there's actually
No.
they have.
No. Muy bien. No dejar que suba la motito porque.
Oh my God, he got up in the.
Why did he do that?
Oh, ¿qué? ¿Por qué?
Yeah, okay, well he actually blocks it perfectly. I guess so.
Yeah.
He saw the robo, so that's useful.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't have to go like anti-DT. Lays a few
Ya, y ahora tiene rango. Se defendió súper bien. Pero el Condoro, it is done. El Condoro ya está hecho. Lo destruyó justo. Son milésimas de segundo. Bam, puta.
When you see the mines, you're like, okay, well, he has like basically no units.
Ahí está el tanque.
Center because there isn't like a follow-up where you make a second factory in a build like this. It just doesn't exist because you're way too slow on everything. So, I mean, you can just instantly force us into a game where you're 3 base against 2 bases, Ferengi. You just need the observer first.
Me cuesta tanto cachar quién va ganando y quién no, pero yo creo que el Terran, porque él fue el que pudo ejecutar su estrategia. La estrategia del otro tuvo que corregirla. Pero hey, nadie juega perfecto esto. De hecho, todos la cagan. El que la caga menos gana. Ahora su murallita.
And goes and tries to bust, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. That is not a good way to do it. Like, you're way far behind.
There was like a whole year where I streamed, and I just went Nexus first, and I was like trying all this weird stuff. And you're totally 100% right. The third Nexus, I think, is the way to do it. It's a good way to balance
really
this out. It's a gentleman's game from there on out, where you just go into a match on both sides.
Excelente.
And I think he will do it, right? The observer's out. He's going into Reaver. Okay, that's good. It's never bad to go Reaver. Reaver is like always strong. And we should see a probe go. There it is. There it is. Okay. So he's going to take the third. It looks like he wants to take that little pocketed mineral base, which specifically
va avanzando y va a tomar su expansión junto con un ataque, o por lo menos con una presión. No, por eso manda a su dragón a limpiar, para mirar qué onda, está bien, es seguro meterme por aquí, no es seguro meterme por acá. No importa.
I think it's not the end of the world for Protoss to expand close to the Terran on the third base, but they do have to macro. They can't cut corners. They have to be ready for a fight.
No. Listo. No, fuera. Chao. Ahí y cuando hablan del metagame, espero que sepan lo que es. Si no saben lo que es, el meta es como lo que la mayoría está jugando, es como lo que se cuenta, lo acostumbrado. Y el meta va cambiando, primero con reajustes del juego, con balanceo, o simplemente porque encontraron una estrategia nueva, o porque hay algo que está de moda, entonces un counter a eso que está de moda empieza a tomar su lugar y después un counter del counter, y así el meta se va moviendo, es dinámico. Y los juegos bien balanceados como el StarCraft hacen que el meta esté constantemente cambiando. Porque impresionantemente se siguen encontrando cosas nuevas, formas de jugar. Cuando ya está muy monótono, se cambian los mapas que requieren otra estrategia, que requieren un balance. Oh, no. Buena. Ahí, sí, este se transforma en un baile. Se echa para adelante. Oh. Pero está haciendo la rotación de los Siege Mode, lo está haciendo muy bien.
Hey, look at this. He does try to drop the Reaver in here, and he gets a decent shot off of it. But
bueno.
But it's not enough. Look at how quickly Rush is closing in on this base.
Pero Rush está, pero
nice shot on the tank there.
Bien,
Gosh,
bien.
I stand corrected. I thought, maybe this is a manageable position, but everything you said, Artosis, this lines up pretty nicely for Rush, doesn't it? It's almost like Harangue made it easy for him. It's scary when you're Protoss, you don't have your third base very fast. You just want to expand to anything. But then these positions that Terran could take advantage of are so strong, Yeah. Well, specifically this map, these spawns, this is such an easy and quick push, and there's all these places you can build turrets, and he's just knocking down this third. So this game, it's not 100% over, but it's pretty close.
Está super over.
These are all going to be killed off. Yeah.
Yo creo que ya fuimos. Y mira, el Terran de 2 bases le ganó el Protoss de casi 3 bases. De 2 bases y media. Pero que el error fue muy grande y los tanques son muy bacanes. ¿Cachai? Oh, qué injusto. No. Oh, qué bueno. Los tanques son bacanes.
There is no way for Rush to die. No, there's certainly no way. And there's just too much from Terran. Protoss was never able to run around. He had to defend the Nexus. That's it. GG. Rush is going to be into that round of 6.
A ver, listo. Rush pasó. Y ahora viene el último. Vamos. Vamos. Elige a tu equipo y... No, gracias.
So they're close spawns, but it's not as advantageous as the previous spawns that we saw on Allegro for Terran, right? The third base is not towards Mong, which should help Free a little bit, but we don't know exactly
Yo creo que va a ganar. Bueno, los dos son buenos, en verdad. Me gustaría que ganara Free porque jugó muy bien. Se merece pasar a la otra ronda. Creo yo.
Crazy late game PVTs, where you really see the Protosses macroing up and Terrans trying to stretch across. In this case, it'd be the top of the map. We could have Nexus first. It's hard to say so far. By the way, a lot of people in the audience here today.
Bien. Chanchito. Qué lindo.
Events like this once again, and obviously ASL is something that many people in Korea hold dear to their heart, as well as many people outside of Korea. Thank you guys for supporting us on the Patreon. Check it out, patreon.com/ASL English. We really appreciate it.
Hizo esa supply depot como más separada.
This is, I don't know, it's funny, man. You and me came out to Korea, and what we ended up having to do to get the jobs we had was to run to TV stations or networks or TV producers and convince them that watch if we were given the opportunity.
Es que esa muralla está como muy adelante. Normalmente se hace más abajo, pero estos gallos practican estos mapas miles de veces. Así que no creo que se haya equivocado. Yo creo que lo tiene súper calculado.
Once again, we have a Nexus first.
Está buena la manzana.
And Mong is going to find it right away, but Mong is going for a gasless expansion here. So this is you can try to punish with this. Is he going to make a barracks down here? That would be wild.
I'm just saying, is that SCV?
I think he's just going to go command, honestly.
Artosis, is it a sus CV?
No,
I think he's hiding it to the side.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I got way too excited. I was like, oh wow, this is like a new kind of rush.
Ya, no. No estoy ready para nada. Ya, listo. Chao. Listo.
You try something like that and they get to your base, you don't have anything, then you take your cannon and you lose. So it's a little bit risky there.
Corre.
He'll get up here and see that it is in fact a gasless expansion, And actually, these two builds have fought against each other a lot of times in the past. And it's like pretty even. The Nexus first is just slightly ahead, but it's a comfortable spot. Now, Mog is actually expanding and rushing.
¿Qué está pasando?
This is kind of crazy.
So, can you walk me through this? Because I get confused when I see this. I don't quite understand what I'm watching. Like, I feel like you know, you're trying to have your cake and eat it.
Yeah. But it should not work. Like, you just have to pull probes and you block it. That's whoa. What in the hell am I looking at?
Okay.
Like, what was that? Was the worst thing he could do. Okay, well, he just keeps walking around to take damage. The probes come up. You can't let the bunker finish. That's the thing.
Sí.
No.
¿Por qué ese Celot no está destruyendo el búnker? No, es... murió un marín. Bravo. Terminó el búnker, pero no hay marín en el búnker. Excelente. No, yo pensé que la había cagado. El weón lo defendió súper bien. Oh, y ahora pasaron los marines. No. Vamos a la base. Vamos a la base.
Long hasn't started a factory. Like, he has to make enough Marines to build a bunker now.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of his SCVs down there attacking everything. I don't feel like he killed a lot of probes. I think he lost more SCVs than probes he killed.
Un marín.
I didn't like that.
No,
I don't like that, and I don't.
Le fue mal, yo creo.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good move.
Terminó el búnker.
Oh man, is the old free back? This is so funny.
Bueno, buenísimo. Buena muralla con los... Bien. Ninguno de los dos le fue bien. ¿Ven? El que la caga menos gana.
Yeah, that was great SCV blocking though. It was very good. On that block.
It was very good, but we've just seen. You know, it's almost hard for me to kind of figure out where we're going to be at in this game because there's been such a weird averaging of many units on the
cayó una manzana.
Yeah.
Pero la salvé.
Yeah, I don't like that play from Mung. I've seen people do that before, but I'm always scratching my head.
Buenísimo. Está
entretenido
este.
Two things that are so opposite.
Yeah.
That it kind of ends up back in the middle again. Where like the Protoss is just
se pasea nomás.
Ever trying to cut corners. You know, and plus when you do a rush like that, the SCVs get home late when you do send them home. The around and get to the desired mineral patches in a matter of seconds.
It's well, this is one of the funny things about StarCraft that I think a lot of people have a hard time understanding is you can do the wrong thing and it can work. Like, you can absolutely win with choices that are very questionable, like, from a theoretic standpoint, because, I mean, StarCraft is so hard. Like, the build Mong did, we both don't like it. It didn't work for a lot of the reasons we've been talking about, but sometimes he will just win with that. But it does. You're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and I don't think that it paid off particularly well.
¿Por qué está haciendo una armory?
Oh, the nice block there with this.
Bueno, ya. Vuelta.
You see the observatory, which is quite useful.
Oh, I thought that was the Nexus for a second. I'm like, you're crazy expanding there. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that would be insane.
That's basically the spot for a dropship.
Van a empezar a salir los tanques. Ahí es cuando se pone rudo. Ya sacó un observador, así que va a ir a mirar, va a ver todo lo que... Pero no entiendo qué está haciendo.
He's got two factories with add-ons. He's got an armory spinning already. He just scanned. He sees exactly what's up.
Va a llenar con torreta.
He just has to go into siege mode from here, and he's going to be totally okay. Third Nexus gets started here for.
No deberíamos ver Goliath entonces.
Honestly, even though the beginning of this game had some oofs, I think it's going to stabilize into a pretty regular-looking TVP from here.
Yeah, you know, I think you're right. this has been a very peculiar early game, but nobody's taken, fatal damage, and nobody's tech has been offset in a weird way. The Nexus is pretty safe. And you can tell this Nexus is safe, unlike the Rush game. It's pointed a little bit further away.
No. Hola. No, ninguna. Funcionan pésimo. No me gustan las pilas. Gracias. Listo.
And yeah, I mean, I think we got to watch and see when Terran takes the third here. But, so far, I think, there's been a pretty good game. I don't mean to nitpick on Mong too much, but some of these plays he's doing with the Vultures, like, this is not actually hard for Protoss to stop. Like, when he runs to this corner with the Vultures, like, all you want to do at this part of the game is kill his Vultures. Every Vulture you kill is like another confidence boost, because it's going to be not a Vulture in my main, it's going to be not a Vulture in a push. And there's, Jinjin 5000 has these really good translated videos of pros. I wish he'd throw some more up there. They're really helpful if you want to learn. It's on his YouTube page. And one of the interesting things I saw Flash say in a tutorial for Terrans against Protoss is that you want to be careful to not map with Vultures and lose them. Even if you're killing probes, is that a lot of times your push is actually just too small. Like, they'll remake the probes, you don't have Vultures, and then you still lose your tanks in the push. And again, it doesn't mean that you should never do that, but it's just important to note, like, what we saw Mong do there. Free just ran around and killed the Vultures, and I think we've seen already, like, 6 Vultures be killed, right? That's a lot when the push comes.
Yeah, it certainly is, and he didn't get anything done, and nor was he going to. Do you think you're going to kill that pylon with 2 Vultures? And, like, he's sitting there now, about 30 supply behind after using those Vultures, which, that's not completely uncommon, but for this early in the game, when you're thinking about trying to either do a push...
10 minutos y tiene muchas gateway. Yo nunca hago tantas. Creo que estoy jugando mal. Bueno, nunca he sido bueno. Ay. Oh. Bueno. Tiene varias unidades ya. Free 120. Mong 82.
That dropship tasteless, like he's making a dropship right now, and Freeze Observer sees it.
I know. That's really nice. Starport placement is a bit odd. But when you see this coming, and you know what's happening. You know he's going to try to drop somewhere and then come out with his army and push. It reminds me of what C did, like many ASLs ago. There should be a cannon finishing at each location on the base.
Estoy pegado con esa canción. Sí, su drop, pero te tienen más que cachado. Oye, no, sácalo de ahí, sálvalo. No. Ahí, ¿por qué no rompí eso que estoy? Tampoco, ya. Claro. No, yo tampoco. No. Malo el drop. Ya, ahí viene otro, Sí, ahí, eso está bien,
He's trying to play macro Terran with his pinky out, like he's
trying to be Slayer's boxer, like 2001, 2000, where it's like, well, look at what this guy can do, and this other guy's like, I didn't hotkey my army, where's my stuff? But like, I think this level of play, it's like you just kind of run around and kill these drop ships off, and watch this third. I might be wrong, but and the calculus on this is never that. Looking at armies. In StarCraft 1, because things can get stuck on each other.
Por eso es lo bueno de los observers. Tenéis que ver cuando vienen los drops. Siempre vienen por la orilla. Oh, yeah. ¿Qué le pasó? ¿Cuál fue el error? A ver, niño, ¿cuál fue el error? Se movió sin observadores. Por eso su ejército bajó muchísimo.
It's like, okay, everything's just kind of fucking dying.
It's like one of those MMA matches where, like, both covered in blood and tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they both end up just kind of hugging, holding each other over and over, and the refs got to pull them off. That's kind of what's happening in this game. Like,
No, muévelo. Muévelo. ¿Pero qué pasa? Muévelo. No. ¿Qué pasó?
You know, Free has had a kind of a weird bumpy ride here. Mong, I think, is certainly. I like when you say he's trying to play with his pinky out. I think that captures it perfectly.
Claro, dicen que está tratando de jugar como el juego macro, pero con así, con su pinky out.
In a lot of ways, and I've seen people make fun of him for that and stuff, but like the thing is, Macrobot is a great way to play. Like that's why a lot of high-ranking Terrans, not the best pro Terrans, but a lot of high-ranking Terrans just do the same macro builds over and over because it's like if you can mechanically play Terran correctly, it's very, very strong. But you know, he's trying to add some fanciness in, trying to you know, carve the edges off and do these little things that people like Flash can do, right? Where you're still macroing like a beast, but you're also doing this one drop that changes the game.
You know, I do feel like, sorry to run over you here, but I just do feel like if you're going to power up on 2 bases and expand later, why would you be flying around with a dropship? I feel like the dropship is only good if you're going to push with it.
No. No. Listo. No. Nadie va a andar haciendo mayonesa vegana. No,
does like
olvida.
a little bit, I guess. Like if you get a decent drop off, you kill a few probes. It's good. It's not necessarily bad. like look, this is a cool move. It's like bringing his attention over here.
Sí, eso sí, está bueno. A ver.
So
Eso, ponemos una mina porque vienen los hueones. Listo. Ya está ahí llegó.
Protoss approach than a Terran approach. You got to be a little bit careful with your early units. And
yeah.
It didn't hurt him this game, but you know, it's something that we definitely saw in the game against Harangue. It did not help.
Ahora se va a poner bueno. Salieron los árbitros. Ahí podía hacer unos buenos drops. No, pues no dejes que te peguen esas minas.
Gosh, this is it's going to be like almost a 15-minute recall. He has the energy at 15 minutes, so that's a very late arbiter. Again, it was a bumpy game, but I mean, the reason why the arbiter timing matters.
¿Cuántas bases hay? 1, 2, 3 contra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sí. Es un hoyo en la base, está bien, pero se va a limpiar. O sea, no. Nadie va a perder por eso. Claro, ahora va a sacar los árbitros, si tiene una ventaja de money. Pero ¿cachai que el otro tiene plata estancada? Tiene 1500. No tiene gas. ¿Cachai? Oh no, no se ve. Mira que soy longy. Qué longy. A ver. No, pues no se perdieron nada. O sea, se perdieron un recall. La habilidad esa que teletransporta a los monos. Pero mató unas torres. No alcanzó ni siquiera a matar un supply depot. Lo importante es que tiene 3 bases. El amigo Terran. Y compadre Free de los protos tiene 5 y ya está amasando, ya están los dos al máximo, así que tienen que pelear, pues. ¿Sí, qué más vaya a hacer? Pelear. Murió ese observer. No sé cómo manejan tantas unidades repartidas por todos lados. Un scan, Sign Desert. No, falló. Eso te puede defender un ataque. Un EMP bien puesto, la energía de los árbitros, si la gastas, ganáis al tiro 2 minutos. 2 minutos de vida. Buenísimo. ¿Cachai? Tú querías atacar cuando no tienen energía los árbitros. Independiente de que ya es molesto que las unidades sean invisibles. Pero aparte de eso, Tenés que preocuparte de que no te congelen, de que no hagan un recall. Mira, mira. Allá van. Allá van. Oh. YOLO. Oh, lo logró. El maldito lo logró. Sí, pues. Le llegó el EMP, pero el recall ya estaba casteado, entre comillas. Entonces no alcanzó. Se ve como que, oh, qué trampa, pero no podía interrumpir. No existe eso en StarCraft. ¡Ay, qué malo! Debería haberlo tirado al frente. Congeló 3, cuando podría haber congelado 6. Bueno, yo no estoy jugando, pero solo le estoy diciendo que por qué ahí, mal tirado. Ahí van todos los SCV. No veo rayitos, no veo o sea, los Templar. Ah, ahí están, ya, por lo menos. Eso es bueno, porque el Command Center se demora caleta en hacerse, así que dale. Eso es buena, es un win, eso es un win, sí. Sale de aquí, es buenísimo. Porque ahora sí que este loco está en una base, solo tiene una base de donde están extrayendo minerales. Ah, cuidado. Ah. Wow. Bueno. Eso es lo que más me gusta del StarCraft 2. Son los silos cuando tienen ese como rush. Así. Son bacanes.
Terran is fine when they're upgraded like this as long as they're mining from 2 bases. When they're mining from 1, you basically can't refill anything. It's like really difficult. One base does not fuel a bunch of factories.
Sí, po.
So this is
necesita más de una base.
Not waste here. He's got to keep this army alive.
All right, we got a
storm no.
Coming down here, and I assume no stasis just yet.
Rayito.
He's gonna hit for both sides. He wants to try to get his tank count as low as possible.
Sanduchito. Ya, a ver cómo le va. Eso. Rayito, ahí donde está el Saiyan Vessel. Buena. Buena Storm. Buenísimo. Y ahora, para atrás. Sí. Cuidado. Hoy no tiene unidades. Wow.
This is a pretty damn close game right now. Mong has set up another base, so he's mining off 2, which means he can reinforce really quickly. And in a position like this with fragmented smaller armies, vultures really become king.
No. Nada de los Doritos aquí. No, chao. Fuera de Doritos. Y esta otra cuestión, fuera. Chao también. Y ahora sí saco la batalla. Muy bien. Sí, Free está ahí a medio morir saltando. Ganó el macro de Monk. Eso fue lo que ganó. Tiene buen macro. GG. Buena. Y viene el último. Horan versus Monk. A ver. De acá sale el último clasificado. Para después empezar a ver los top 16. Alright. Let's go. A ver, ¿y cuánto dura? Dura 2 horas 20 y llevamos 1 hora 30 viendo solo los videitos. Menos los reclames, todas esas tonteras. Ya. Hay como 40 minutos de tiempo muerto. Igual no era tanto, yo pensaba que era mucho más. Son largas las partidas. Las de Terran versus Proto. Y de hecho, no hubo un Terran versus Terran. Pensé que sí iba a haber, pero no. Puros Protoss versus Terran.
feel like this is like about as big as maps can get. I mean, even just casting on it, I'm like, man, this just feels huge, right? Lots of bases that are tucked away. I think you always gotta have one map like this in a StarCraft tournament. Like, I like Butter because it kind of creates tension, but I also like these big ones. Especially PvP, that can be a lot of fun. You have to see what's going to happen here and how these guys will approach it. PvZ as well can be very exciting. It's kind of funny seeing the audience here in GSL, or I'm sorry, ASL, excuse me. And I'm starting to recognize some of the regulars. You know, we always have regulars that come by the studio. You know, some people are tourists. Some people, they have a favorite player. They come down and see him play. Other people, you know, they're like, look, man, you know, Tuesdays are my days off. I'll swing by here and watch the games. It just makes me happy to see this.
Bueno, sí, están contando de que hay gente que va regularmente. Onda, para Corea del Sur, esto es como ir a ver un partido de fútbol, ¿cachai? En un estudio, tú compráis tu entrada, vaya a ver a tus jugadores, cuando hay un gallo que te gusta, vais y jugáis. Es bacán, es muy entretenido, me encantaría que existiera algo así acá. Yo iría, onda, una vez a la semana a ver un partido de StarCraft, así como hueones secos jugando, campeonato, bacán. Aquí no existen equipos, son jugadores individuales, es como tenis, ¿cachai? 2 minutos, Command Center. Command Center, al toque. Wow.
Yeah, Manga to just get that barracks and CC up.
Wow.
And I don't think we have a scouting probe out, right? No, we don't have any probe on the map at all here.
No. Not yet.
¿Verdad?
So that's not wrong, by the way.
3 minutos.
Like,
no hay probe.
The idea is that the extra probe gets you so many more minerals. You can just scout with a Dragoon or a Zealot later on. I do feel like when you do Mong's build, you thank the heavens that Harangi opened like this. Because what happens is Harangi scouts to find out that he's behind. And the eBay will only further inhibit the ability to scout here as well. So Harangi is, dude, this is like my worst nightmare. I always scout after Gateway. Because I really, that way I can find them and I can react, and I know that's really for PvT scouts, but
bueno, le retrasó la Nexus solo con esa tontera. Y ahí está haciendo la muralla. Bacán. Y Proton no sabe dónde está el Terran, pero manda su dragón ahí a cachar qué onda.
But let's see how Harangi wants to fight back against this.
Factory.
There's a lot of different ways. He's not getting range. He'll probably go directly into Robo. Yeah, there it is. And this will be a Reaver opening.
Direct Robo, al toque.
And I mean, from there, most likely a third base for Harangi. Like, yeah, you're
Están como tratando de chuntarle de cuál va a ser la técnica.
Oh, okay. Like, his probe was sitting there long enough. I'm like, is he going to go DT drop? Like, what are we looking at here? Is he about to make a Citadel? No, he started range. The probe just was not shift clicking back.
I feel like we haven't had a lot of DT drops lately. That was a trend, though, for a while, was to basically go 2-base DT drop. And it did force these Terrans to start making turrets, you know.
Two factory.
Yeah, it's funny to watch.
Hay un marín nomás. Ese búnker tiene un marín. Ni siquiera lo han visto. Pero se transforma como en un Supermarine. Ya, ¿viste? Igual puede pasar. ¿Cachai? El weón no tiene idea, pero podría haber pasado a matar un par de SCVs con ese dragón.
Honestly, when your opponent's expansion is this late, I love the 3 tank pressures just to kind of walk out, you know, figure out what he's doing, and that covers you to get some vultures out afterwards. Anyways.
Bien.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because
ahora ninguno de los dos tiene visión.
I hate the most is the 3 tanks and the vultures that come out. Because then I go, all right, I got to be really honest right now. You know, I mean, because when you're behind with Protoss, there is a temptation to basically try to cheat with your tech. You know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe we can just go like 1 gate carrier, you know, or you know, some of these builds they're not great, but it's like, well, I don't like this position, right? But you know, pretty mild pressure coming out, that works. I mean, you can come out and really
Un observer. Debería salir una oruguita del shuttle. Y este loco debería, si es que sospecha que viene eso, pero como no lo ha visto, no tiene cómo saber, debería hacer un par de torres. Un par de torres cerca de los minerales para defender. Allá va. Oh, lo cachó al toque. No tengo idea cómo lo hacen.
And he's already sieged. I mean, you can see how many vultures he's making. He's really loving these early game vultures. But he's already got an engineering bay. So he's going to be completely safe here. Like, just throw down some turrets. No problem at all blocking this Reaver drop coming in.
Yeah, and the tank's far back enough, he might actually build a bunker. Oh man, good shot onto the vultures here. I love it.
Bueno,
not kill the bunker. He's got to be careful too. Oh my god.
Las minas, las minas. Uy, uy, uy. No hay observer. No hay observer, así que va para atrás, para atrás, para atrás. No, ahí fue una reacción muy buena de Monk. Me venía a atacar, dale, te pongo las minas encima. Porque no vaya a poder. No vaya a poder tenerlo todo. Ya. Ya. Ahí salió el observer y ahora no salga sin un observer con humanos. No se puede. Por eso perdió el otro loco. El free. Porque su primer ataque quedó todo magullado, todo machucado con el paseo irresponsable con las minas. Me pica mi no pelo.
And he's starting the third command center in his main base. So when Harangi sees that, everything's going to look normal. So I think that in this exact position, this is the smartest hidden command center I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, it's also brilliant because of the positions they're both in. They're both sharing the bottom. And keep in mind, Protoss tries to take the other two mains.
Cacha la base en la 0-0. Pasando piolísima. Cada segundo que esa base no la encuentra, es tiempo bacán. Es tiempo extra. Minerales extra que el otro nos tiene en su radar. ¿Cachai?
I mean, it's fine if you're against a really good player, but if you do this all the time, it's just not a good way to learn. But I think it's a smart tournament play for sure.
Claro, es como una jugada de torneo. ¿Cachai? Es como, ok, lo puedo hacer para sorprender, pero es una apuesta. Si te lo cachan, lo bueno es que los Terran pueden agarrar su command center y virarse, ¿cachai? Entonces no es tan terrible como con otra raza, a menos de que perdáis el command center, porque son tan caros. ¿Cachai? Oh, murió el huevito. Oh, ¿qué? Ah, el observer murió ahí.
Every game, I couldn't believe it. I was like, seriously, no one's gonna check, and they, you know what? They didn't. And if they did, he was like kind of good.
No, no, la oruga.
This is insane. This man just hides.
Agárralo.
And every time I see that, I think of
Oh, agárralo.
It's
it's
kind of funny when
no.
bases their entire play off of that. I mean, that does not get you that far. Like, you'll do well.
Bueno, es tan difícil hacer todo junto.
Right. Like, when people figure it out, it just it loses a lot of its power, and you certainly don't learn correctly on how to play in a more standard position. But look here, okay, the Reaver it's slowing everything down, but that's a lot of Goliaths. He does pick off the shuttle, and he's just this looks like a very regular push into a third base.
Bueno.
But having this base up at 12,
oye, pero qué distancia.
A huge advantage right now, because Harangi's looking at this, he's like, okay, I'm fine. Everything's good. Like, I have a lot of units, he's pushing into here.
Mon, con la base que tiene arriba, se está financiando. ¿Cachai? El otro dice, no, Firo, lo tengo ahí apretadito, no lo dejé agarrar su tercera base, le maté a algunos monos, bacán, estoy bien.
this. Keep in mind that when he made that extra command center, he might not have as many factories as he normally should. So sometimes the bust works. The problem is that the Protoss is misled on how many bases there are when there's a free one at 12.
Los tanques. Eso, tanque. A la otra weá, chao. No, fuera. Excelente. Excelente, eso tiene que hacer. Tanque. Chao. Matar los tanques, salir. Porque el tanque se demora mucho en salir. ¿Cachai? Y el freno es el gas. Mineral tú sacáis. Pero el gas es el freno. Eso, sí, anda ahí con los celos. Bien, 2 marines. Bueno. Sí, bien.
Mong is actually calm and okay. Look at all the factories he's adding right now.
Claro.
A 3-base economy, despite lifting this. So he's going to be able to power out a lot of units. It's going to take a while, but eventually Harangi will probably feel a little bit confused as to how Mong has so much, and then he's going to be like, oh my god, is there a base on the map?
That is what is coming, man.
Exacto. En algún minuto se va a dar cuenta de, oye, pero ¿y de dónde saca tantas cosas?
Everybody who's watching this, if you're a student of the game, just scout the other mains. Scout the top left, center, and top right. Because
exacto.
if you find these hidden bases,
sí, si estáis viendo esto, pega una mirada nomás para ver si es que asegurarte de que no hay una base escondida y manda un pro, un silo de ahí caminando, da lo mismo, ¿cachai? Pero que vaya a ver. Exacto.
That you kind of ignore the top of the map because that's not the correct way to play. You're not supposed to expand up there because you scout it, you stop it. But guess what? If you don't scout it, then they can basically win the game. And so, you know, Mong's playing
oye, pero tienen súper buen macro.
On 4 bases when they're actually even on 4 bases, which really means the Protoss is actually behind.
Yeah. And like he has more supply and everything right now, but it's mostly just gateway units. Obviously, he's adding a little bit more in the shuttle, looking for a bit of harassment on the side. Mong's macro is really starting to hit at this point. Now, out goes a side storm drop. Nice one there. It goes all right, but again, Mong has more than what.
Sí, se justificó.
Honestly, Harangi is macroing pretty much like a beast. Like he's putting out a high quality game right now. But
Harangi está pero bueno, el proto.
It just goes to show how strong a hidden base really can be.
Yeah, it really does. And so,
todavía no logra ver
Harangi's gonna try to maybe bust. Now,
que la gracia de la hidden base es que la así y se autosostiene. O sea, creáis las cosas y no mandáis ningún mono para allá, no hacéis nada. Si te la pillan, no te preocupáis. Oh, no alcanzó a tirar. Ese. Eso.
Yes, 100%. Like, I think right now, Harangi has to be thinking to himself, okay, something's wrong.
Sí.
How does he have this?
Exacto.
Right?
Mira,
like,
¿cachai?
I think that battle in particular, because it like if this game, like,
¿cachai? Ya sacó varios minerales.
I think that attack would have done so much better. And Harangi would be like, yeah, man, I'm like really dominating here. Because every other move he's made has been strong.
Oh, yeah.
So we might see him send something around to scout at this point.
Anda a revisar.
So, this is going to be the big push. I don't know that Harangi's going to be ready for this. I think
no está listo. No está listo. Claro. Sí, pues no va a cachar por qué perdió. Claro. Esto es una experiencia traumante, sí, pues. Compadre, nunca más va a perder contra una base escondida. Va a quedar así, pero traumatizado. Oh, loco.
You have no idea about that. Like, look at this. Harangi really has macroed well. He's played a strong game. And,
sí, jugado súper bien. Y dice, pero ¿cómo? ¿Cómo? Sí. Cacha las oleadas de refuerzo que van llegando, gigantes.
Harangi,
Eso no puede ser.
trying to hold on here. Those are clump tanks, but unfortunately loses the High Templar to a Vulture snipe right there. Tanks continue to walk in, and it feels like this game is just about over.
Yeah, I think we are certainly nearing the end here. You know, it's kind of like what we talked about on Butter. The same circumstance is true in this case on this map because all the gates are just in the bottom left.
Claro. No, y ahí ya va a empezar a perder income, después pierde producción y después pierde las peleas.
High Templar walks in. Unfortunately, does clear the tanks that were trying to attack into his third base, but Mong landing a 5th right now. While Harangi is taking the top
Quinta
left,
base.
he's just not able to make a big enough army to break out of here as of yet. And it just the rally of Mong is a little bit too quick. I think there's just no real way for him to catch up. GG is called.
GG.
Another Terran.
Y loco nunca vio la base escondida. Bueno, ya saben entonces, base escondida es fue lo que ganó ahí. Wow, loco. Ya pues. Sería todo. Nos vemos en la ¿cómo se llama? En el top 16. Que podría ser dentro de poquito porque ya han salido